Hello guys, today we are going to learn about Foundation in Accountancy or ACCA's financial accounting subject. Before we move on to the main topics that we need to learn, let us quickly take a look at the syllabus and understand how to approach the exam. So if we talk about the syllabus of this particular subject, the syllabus is divided into 8 main portions. The first 2 are mostly theory, and from the third chapter onwards you will look at the practical applications of this particular subject, where you will be learning about double entry systems, accounting systems, etc. So the first chapter talks about context and purpose of financial reporting. The next chapter is mostly about qualitative characteristics, where you will learn why financial statements are used, what is the requirement for financial information, what are the uses of financial information, etc. From the third chapter onwards, you will learn how to post journal entries and look at various principles of your financial accounting. You will learn to use the double entry bookkeeping and accounting systems. From the fourth chapter, you will start recording the transaction and events. Preparing of trial balance is the next chapter, and you will start learning the preparation of financial statements of incorporated and unincorporated entities. You will start preparing the consolidated financial statements, and finally interpretation of financial statements. So if you look at the entire syllabus, it's mostly oriented towards your basic 11th standard commerce, what you would have learned in your school times. So this particular subject is very good if you start while you are pursuing your 11th standard, which means you can do your ACCA, or you can begin your ACCA career while you are pursuing your 11th standard via the Foundation in Accountancy route, where you will be learning the same syllabus, and which is almost, there is a 90% of your syllabus integration to what you will be learning in your 11th standard commerce streams as well. So in terms of the exam format, the exam total is for 100 marks and you need to score 50% or above to pass the exam. The entire exam is objective based questions, which means you will be given with certain options and you need to choose from whichever is the best option. The entire 100 marks is divided into 2 portions, 70 and 30. For the 70 markers, you will have 35 questions for 2 marks each. And the next section is 2 questions with 15 marks each. All of them are objective type based questions. However, in your second part, where you have 2 questions for 15 marks, is more related to scenario based. So you will be given a certain scenario as one of the question, and you will and questions will be asked based on the scenario, and you need to answer them and choose the options. But the entire syllabus or the entire exam format is completely objective based. It is a 2-hour exam and all questions are compulsory for you to answer. You can go to www.accglobal.com for a specimen exam. You can also visit our website for a free mock exams. Now, before we move on to the main topics, let us look at how do we tackle these MCQs, which are multiple choice questions. So your MCQs has possibly 4 answers and you need to choose the best option that fits the answer. So there will be 3 incorrect options, which are also called as distractors. These are included to test your understanding of the syllabus. Trust me, many of them think that MCQs are easy, but no, MCQs are difficult because it really tests your understanding of the concept, and it is very important that you learn the concept very clearly for you to attempt the MCQs. It's not just a guess game. So get your facts correctly and ensure that you learn the concepts very clearly. We have included steps that you can look at how to approach these MCQ questions. The step number 1 is to do a skim read. A skim read is to read the entire questions on a fast manner so that you can identify those questions which are easier for you to appear. In step number 2, you attempt each question. You start with the easier questions, read the question thoroughly and slowly, read the requirement, and also you read the options at the beginning before you answer the question. So before you do your calculations, you start your calculations, I suggest you start reading all the options so that you know when you are doing your calculations whether you are right or wrong. And also it's very important to read the requirement, because once you start looking at the question, you feel that you have read this question before and you choose one of the options to quickly go into the next question. Many of the students do that to save time, but that's not a wise advice, because if you look at the requirement, might be different from what you would have learned. So you might see that there is some familiarity of those questions that you would have learned in your revision kit or while preparing for the exam, but not all questions might be the same. The question pattern might be the same, but the requirement might be different. So do not confuse yourself and do not skip any of the question and go directly to the options. Ensure you read the question very thoroughly and very slowly, and then you answer before you and start preparing for the answer. Please ensure you read the options. The next step is read the 4 options and see if any of the option matches your answer. Be careful with numerical questions, as there are distractors which are designed to match the answers that are incorporate common errors. So if in your exam, there could be a question where the option 1 could be $1,569, and there could be another option where the amount would be 1,096. So ensure that your calculations are so perfect that you choose the correct option, because if you see the option 1 and 2 are almost similar, the only differences is between these two numbers. So ensure that you don't pick up the wrong option. Step number 4, what to do if your answer does not matches the option. Reread it. You start with a fresh mind. Go back, reread the entire question, ensure that you are understanding it and you are answering the requirement. Eliminate any obvious answers and obvious wrong answers. If you feel that the option that is given is 100% wrong, skip it. You know that's the wrong answer. Look at the next option. Consider which of the remaining answers is most likely to be correct and then select the option. So it is very important that if you're doing some calculations for numerical questions, you ensure that you read all the options, because there are students who have found the answer but the answer was wrong and the wrong answer was there in the option, and you choose their option, you lose marks. So ensure that you read all the options and ensure that you are 100% accurate of what your calculations are. Re-look at your calculation, ensure that you are 100% correct before you select the option and go to the next question. If you are still unsure, make a note of it and continue to the next question. If you're still not sure whether the question is right or whether the answer is right, or whether you're not able to find out what the answer is, you don't remember the answer, then what you need to do is, this is the last resort and I would never ever suggest this, but still, if you do not know what the answer is, you can take a calculated guess. Just guess the option whichever you think is right, because there is no negative marking for ACCA. So it's very important that you don't leave a question unanswered. If you leave a question unanswered, you have already lost the mark. So it's better to guess and lose the mark rather leaving the question unanswered. Maybe you could be right. Maybe at the back of the mind you would have selected the correct option. So it's always better to choose an option and rather than leaving the question unanswered. Keep this in mind, but this should be your last resort. Ensure that you follow every other step before you come to this option.